So when you build a lightweight race car and most of the floor is missing, this is kind of cool. Welcome back to Dad's Toy Garage, and today Tony and I are going to be tackling a little bit more on this car. I've been kind of working on rockers throughout the week so that we can tackle other more important things when we're here together. Yeah, so today Tony's going to be buttoning the bottom of the engine back up with the oil pan and a really neat piece that he's made. We'll show you that in a little bit. And yeah, so I'll be working on welding on the rest of the rocker, and so hopefully you guys enjoy this portion of our build. I'm going to start manufacturing the inner rockers. It definitely needs them. We're going to go with a similar to factory design. The seatbelt hole won't be there. That won't be there, and it won't need for this brace. It'll just be a straight across inner rocker. So I'm going to make them like I normally do, just without any hole cuts, because everything beyond the rocker towards this frame rail is all going to be fabricated different than factory up until this cross brace for the back seat. So I'm going to work on both of those rockers and get those done, because what we would like to do is take this car. We've been talking ride height now, so take the car from the bottom of the rocker pinch weld to the floor. I think we're thinking 6 inches. If we need to go lower, we always can. And another thing we've discussed is if you look where this, not much room here, but if you look where we have the wheel in the arch, we're going to move it forward a little bit in the wheel arch. The Miata control arms, this point here sits completely parallel to the ground, so when the Miata tires and wheels are on here and that's parallel to the ground, we know that geometry is right for ride height, and at that point then we cut most of the front out of here. We're talking about leaving the top square tube section in there, getting rid of the strut towers and everything in front, then running our crossbar most likely across, or I mean the frame rail, just cross once we've leveled out the Miata suspension. Then we can bolt the frame rail to the suspension at the desired ride height and weld in an angled piece here out of square tubing as well, and that should have the front of the car stay on the ground. And then we got to come up with where to set the strut tower height. So I'm going to get to work on the rockers. This is what I got here for rockers. It all starts as flat sheet. I have another video on how I made these. It'll be very similar. I got the front half and the back half patterns. It'll just be a little simpler to make. There's less things going on with them. They just need to have strength, because seatbelts will also be running in that's the seatbelt cutout. We'll be running in different locations. So, okay, guys. The next step is going to be cutting out the inner rocker. We're going to leave the outer there for now and the floor there for now. I'm going to cut it out so I can fit the ones I just made into this part of the car. So, let's see if we can get a good angle of this. I got the inner rockers done for our car, the race car, and these are the corners for the rear wheel tubs that always rust out, the ones that will touch the corners of the bench seat inside the car. I made them for somebody, but they decided they didn't want them, so this is perfect. They can go into my car or into me and Tony's car. And I'm pretty happy with these. There is design changes. I've just made this flat. There's no room for the tab because we're probably not running the bottom of the fenders anyways, or the fender liners. No holes here. No seat belt here, but we still have a tab here to weld onto the car. Well, there's a reason why this is becoming a race car. This is not much left of anything on the bottom side, so it should be fun. So the old rocker is completely out of here. I know the lighting's kind of poor, but that's where I'm at with making the shot. We're gonna fit the new one shortly, and then probably be welding it to kind of like that panel there, clean it up a bit, and I'll probably have to make that bottom piece there. I'll have to get a better look at it, but that's an easy piece to make. I probably won't even add any shape to it, just make it and done. Alright, in the door jamb here seems to be a very typical rust spot. I had to fix it on the other car too. So I've got this piece here. Gonna sit in here, gonna weld it in place, and I want to do this before I weld the inner rocker on, give this spot some strength again. Alright, so that piece is in. I probably won't even be too particular on grinding welds on this car because it leaves a little bit of strength. So here's what I've got going. I'm replacing this bottom corner. It's just a piece of quarter panel, not exact specs, but ones that'll work for our race car to get that inner rocker on there. So that corner's done. This takes care of this corner here. And that patch also, let's get the better light here. That's that corner, and the welds do suck, I know that much. But I had a little bit of tar coming out from the back side, so I was fighting that a little bit. We got a little bit left in the back, we got to prep yet, and then we can put the inner rocker in this thing. Alright guys, mid video I guess camera change. My friend hooked me up with a different camera, and I've been looking at getting another camera, and so he said, I got a surprise for you, and brought down this camera. It's a much better improvement over my $30 GoPro knockoff camera, so hopefully it can be a good start to making a little bit better videos for you guys to enjoy. So let's keep going on the inner rocker panel that we got here. So where we're at is I've cut out all of the rocker on the passenger side of the car. I've welded this together, the rocker that I got. Right, so in here is what we're going to be tackling now. It's a new patch. Something else I'm pretty excited about. I had a special delivery. It's a pretty special, awesome thing happened. I've been borrowing my dad's welder. It's worked really well. I've been trying to get save up for my own welder. It just hasn't happened. So I got this welder here. It's the ESAB brand. And it does MIG, TIG, and stick welding. It's got a digital screen on there, and I think it does what you call smart welding. Pretty amazing machine. The welds came out really awesome. All I had to do was set it for 18 gauge, and it figures out the rest. Alright, so we're gonna give a test with the new welder here on this piece of patch that I'm making. So the patch is in place in the back corner here in the wheel tub. The next step will be, by the way, I love the welder. So easy to use. The next step will be probably fitting in this rocker panel. Alright, I got the holes for the plug welds drilled on the inner rocker. So we're going to fit this in place now. And this, I'm going to spot weld every other one so that it should allow for me to install the outer rocker nicely. It'll make more sense once we get to it.
We're ready to put the close up the oil pan. I've got cut off the bottom piece of the balance shaft and got a local welder to weld up the oil port that feeds the balance shaft. So yeah, we're gonna block that off to help save a little bit of weight.
Do you want to give a bit of a close up on that part?
Yeah.
Your ingenious design.
That's it's just basically a cut off leg of the balance shaft and or balance assembly, and then the bolt goes through here. And this was where the oil port was, so that's been welded up. So yeah, we'll just throw that in here, and then we can close up the oil pan and have the engine kind of ready to go in the car.
Cool.
There's something where there's a chance of oil running onto it.
Yeah.
I'll clean it, and then while I'm working on other stuff, I'll let, if more oil's gonna run down, it has a chance to.
Yeah.
And then you clean it again just before you put put everything together. It's normally your best chance of not having a leak.
Cleaning as you're going.
Cleaning, like if this oil was going to run onto here,
yeah,
and I clean it now, and then basically silicone, and just before check all my edges, make sure they're all still clean, put on the gasket.
Cool.
The right stuff is fantastic though. For we tested it on our oil barrels, which are totally covered in oil, And you can actually take some on your finger, smear it on a patch that has oil on it, and it'll stick.
And it bleeds through the oil to the base metal.
Yeah.
Wow, so that worked good when my oil pan gasket popped out and that's why it stayed?
It's like, it'll only work so good, but if anything's gonna work, it'll be that stuff, for sure. It had this under there. I'm not sure what the idea behind this is.
What's that?
Like, it's a spacer.
But we don't need a spacer, do we?
But if you look at the flange here, it just sits flat. Right? So now I want this flat too then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, then why would they need that?
And they had one of those between every
Well,
one.
I bet you there was an O-ring on the one side at one point. No?
No.
So then we can just bolt it. Do we need to put sealants around
I
here?
will a little bit, but
blast it into there and there it is.
yeah. This one is it. In some ways, I'm guessing you're probably enjoying that part of it still, eh?
Like not having to care as much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that a lot. I mean, I care that it's done right, but I don't care that it's not.
You don't care that it looks perfect, right?
Yeah, because we might actually bump into something with it. So.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but we might hit a pylon or two, right?
It could happen. I mean, I'm thinking we won't dent it with a pylon.
No, if we dent it with a pylon, that means I forgot a piece of rust.
Ah, perfect. This feels really good.
Alright, this is the block-off plate that Tony made in the engine block there, all mounted in place. I like it, it's awesome. That portion of the car is quite rusty, as you can see. So that there's nothing left even holding it along the pinch weld here. So that's what, again, like I said, that's why we're making a race car of this one. It was worse than my 73. Well, there's a big hole in the side of the car. It's missing most of the floor here. It's all being removed. We're going to be putting the inner rockers into it next. Got to build up in here, just like we did on the other side. And we're going to be building the floor from scratch in this car anyways. This is all cut out here. So that'll all get rebuilt fresh, and then we're gonna put this frame rail on the other side of the car yet, and then we'll start building a brand new fresh floor for this car, probably framework first. Alright, so this is my really unfancy piece. It's going to be the kick panel up front, and I don't feel like using drill bit, so my plug welds are all going to be just notched out with a grinder like that, and I see no reason why that should not work. I'm going to install this now, and then we're going to get the inner rocker in the car so we can do other more important things.
I don't know how, like, I know you love Toyota.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know how people first, like, I like them, but it's like, why do you choose Toyota? Like, but there's so many, like, it's like,
You know, it's this car, I think, that did it for me. And then it's like, you hear the reliability stories, you know
yeah.
I feel like they're better than, anybody who's watching is going to hate me, better than the Honda, unless you're not a Honda fan.
I think everybody except for Honda guys knows that they're overrated, so.
I would agree with that.
So, but I agree with you on that point.
I don't know. I like the FJ and I like this car, and I like the reliability that I'm maybe dreaming exists. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of what does it for me. I mean, my dream muscle car is a '68 Charger, but who can afford that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should build race cars instead of work at our normal jobs.
It's a little bit more fun, isn't it?
It's way more enjoyable than painting someone else's home. I'd go back to welding school if that was the case, though. I want to make sure my welds are for sure good for someone else.
Yeah.
So that is the, I don't know what you call it, the kick. For us it'll be a kick panel because there's no plastic going back in the interior. But I just kind of made something that works. It's not original and I really don't care if it's original or not, but I'm happy with how this turned out. Nice and strong. What are you working on there, Tony?
Just finishing up the silicone for the pan here.
Sweet.
Yeah, bleed on here, put it on, and let it cure for a couple of years before we run the engine. No, hopefully not that long.
Hopefully only winter time, right?
Yeah.
Did you tell them how competent I was at the oil pickup tube?
So somehow we had forgotten to tighten all the bolts on the oil pickup tube, so the oil pickup tube, as we left it, probably would have broken off and ruined our engine, but whatever.
That was
we
my
found
fault.
it on further inspection, so it's all good.
Always double check your work, right?
Yeah. Well, that's true. If you don't remember doing something, double check it. That looks good.
So are you gonna run it for me tonight?
Hey?
You gonna run that for me tonight?
Are we gonna try to run it before we put it in the car?
I don't know, do we? I mean, it would be fun, but
It would be like a wasted day, but it would be fun if we get it working. Hey?
An awesome wasted day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, guys, I'm just working on the inner rocker here. I always build them in 2 halves. It's easier that way for me. I'm just gonna weld these 2 together now, and then I'm gonna fit it in the car and try and get this mounted up yet tonight. Sometimes I grab my face shield for grinding and I'm about to make an arc on the welder. I was like, oh wait, there's no protection here.
Yeah.
So what do you think you can do here?
Well, I'm just showing guys how light this motor is, because I'm a bit of a weakling, but...
Yeah. That's like full off the block there, hey?
Yeah, it was right off. So we can put 2 longer bolts in here.
Yep.
To use as a kind of as a guide. Like, so as soon as we can start, like these bolts actually go here, but we can put them in these holes, and then we can kind of use that to guide it.
And pull them out later.
And pull them out later once we've got it made.
Okay, well that doesn't fit on this. Tony got the engine back together with the transmission. Super light engine transmission combo. Got the shiny new oil pan on the car. It's a motor. Well, thanks for joining us, guys, for another episode of Dad's Toy Garage, working on Project Snake Charmer. Tony got a lot done on the engine transmission. He got it back together, and with the new oil pan on and the new block off plate, I got the driver's side and passenger side inner rockers put in place. and we were doing a little bit of talking. Next time you'll probably see us removing the passenger side floor and installing our subframe connector like we did for the driver's side. And then I think we want to try and set this car at ride height that we're after. We'll kind of figure out a for sure ride height once we have that done, and then we want to cut out most of the sheet metal for the engine compartment so that we can get that Miata suspension to actually fit in there. Thanks for joining us, guys. Until next time.